Hey everybody, this is Freddie the Fireman from the Wise Guys Show. The Wise Guys will be doing our first paranormal investigation tonight here at the Darress Theater. And will be joining us the Jersey Paranormal Investigators. They will be coming here and assist us and show us what it takes to be paranormal investigators. We are going into this famous Darress Theater tonight. Join us live inside. The historical town of Boonton, New Jersey, originally formed in 1866, with a population today of a little over 8,000 people, who take pride in its historical look through its waterways, structures, and landmarks. One landmark that stands out, the Darress Theater. The Darress Theater is the last surviving of the vaudeville stages in the country. Built in 1919, this historical theater is known for some legendary performances, such as Burns and Allen,
Oh, Judge, don't be ridiculous. You're great.
Abbott and Costello, and Mae West. But there's another thing the theater is known for, and that is it may be haunted. So I immediately needed to speak with the owner, Tom, of the Darress Theater, and find out what exactly is going on in this haunted theater. I'm here with Tom, the owner of the Darress Theater, and we're here in Boonton, New Jersey, and we're just about to go in. But first, I want to do a little quick interview with the owner. Tom, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
I want to ask you, this theater, a lot of people has told us that they feel that it's haunted. What do you think?
It has a presence. Haunted is probably not the word because that comes up something as evil. It's not evil. Whatever we have is happy to be here, and it makes us happy.
Now, have you had any experiences in here?
We've had a few things where if something was missing and we couldn't find it, we let it go, we asked, and we find it. Go look over in the corner, and there it is. So, but there has been other occasions. The most prevalent occasion was when we were moving a large background, which was half brick, real half brick cut, and it was a fireplace, and we were pulling it up. Now, what happened was the gentleman that was helping me, I was pulling, and I'm standing on our recording studio, which is about 25 feet in the air, and we're pulling it up on a pulley, and he was kind of pushing it up from the bottom, and he's a musician, a very, very cool guy. And something was blowing at his wind or whatever, and he turned his head just in time. He saw something, and then the rope broke. Oh, wow. And the whole thing came crashing down. Naturally, he left. It was about 1:30 in the morning. We were done with the program we were doing, and so things like that happened.
Now, you've been the owner here for how long?
1980.
1980. Wow, so you've been here quite some time. I mean, now over the years since you've owned it, just roughly, how many times have you heard or have someone tell you that they saw something or?
Yes, over the years, there's been quite a few. Most of those are people that are very serious, that I respect their opinion. It isn't just someone who's coming out of the blue and thinks they see something, but it's people that are working here, whether they're a musician or an actress or an actor, somebody in stage. And we've seen certain things too. When we were living here, even our dog, which was a chow chow, which is a great animal, would never go on one side of the building, period. You could not drag the dog to that area. It went with its tail down, up, because we were living up in the back of the building in the apartment. And so it was very interesting.
Now you might. Obviously, this place has a lot of history. What year was this built?
Well, we're built around 1915. It opened with its first show in 1919, which was a show for the I forget exactly the Shriners. That's what it was. It was a Shriner show. But there's been a lot of people who've been here. A lot of old vaudevillians. Abbott and Costello, we know. George Burns, Gracie Allen, that we know. And there's been a lot of other ones, speculation. But we're a vaudeville theater on the circuit. Remember, everything came out of New York, came out this way, and then went towards Morristown to Dover, Phillipsburg.
Now, obviously, if there's anybody, does this place have a website or anything like that?
The website is darresstheater.com, and you can see us.
And you still put on shows here.
Oh yeah, sure. Tomorrow night we have a good jazz show. The end of the month we're doing a film, the old Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and I have an organist who will be playing the music soundtrack for that. 2 weeks ago we ran The Day the Earth Stood Still. So we do from old films to shows, new shows, our own productions, which we did our own productions for almost 30 years.
Well, tonight we're going to go into this theater with Jersey Paranormal Investigators. This is our first time ever doing a paranormal investigation. The wise guys have no clue what we're doing, but Jersey Paranormal Investigators do. Tom, I want to thank you so much, and hey, hopefully we can find something and maybe get a little answers of what's going on in here.
Yeah, and if there's any money hidden someplace, tell me where it is.
You got it. We'll be back after this, and I'm telling you, we're going to have a great time tonight, so just stay tuned. We'll be back. As we awaited the sun to set and the arrival of the Wise Guys crew and Jersey Paranormal Investigations, I decided to do my own little walkthrough of the inside of this interesting theater. As the 8 p.m. start time approaches and the crew's well on their way, the Wise Guys' official magician and guide for the evening, Mike Healy, arrives. So I meet with him out in front of the theater to hear his opinion of the Darress Theater and any experiences he may have had in the many years he has performed here. Hey everybody, this is Freddie the Fireman from the Wise Guys Show, here with Mike, the Master Magician Healy, one of our official Master Magicians. And tonight he's going to be guiding us into this theater, the Darress Theater, with Jersey Paranormal Investigators. And I want to ask Mike, hey Mike, so what do you think about tonight?
Well, I'm really excited because I've lived here in Boonton for 26 years. I've been performing in the Darress Theater for about 20 years in community theater shows, magic shows and stuff. And it's the only reverse theater in the U.S. There used to be two, the other one got torn down. And there's a lot of spooky stuff that happens in this theater.
Now, did you ever have an experience in here?
Well, I have to tell you, when I knew you were coming, the memories were, we did a production of Annie about 20 years ago. So if you know, Annie has kids in the show, and a lot of times they kept telling me about noises that they heard that they couldn't explain. And so, you know, truthfully, the theater is up for sale, and I don't know that the owner wants to let people know that it's haunted. But
no, we interviewed him. He's all right with it.
Yeah, I've heard enough people mention things that they saw. Even tonight, Annette, your friend, said that she saw one of the pictures on the wall move. So I don't know. Well, we'll find out.
Listen, we're waiting for Jersey Paranormal Investigators, and they're going to be here soon. And Mike's going to be guiding us in tonight. We're waiting for Italian singing sensation Biagio, Jumpin' Gennaro. Me and Annette, the talent coordinator, will be doing the filming. And who knows what we're going to find. But Jersey Paranormal Investigators, they're really good. And we really looked for a good group. They have their psychic with them. And are you like psychics?
I like mentalists. I don't know if this is same as psychics,
well,
but yeah, I'm as a magician, I'm a little skeptical of psychics, so I'm really interested in interacting with psychics.
Well, you can see that it is gotten dark outside. Yeah. The sun has set, and we're just about to go in with Jersey Paranormal Investigators, and we'll just keep following this video, and we'll see where we go.
Yep.
The boys are just about ready with the arrivals of Jumpin' Gennaro, an Italian singing sensation, Biagio. Biagio's here. Hey, what's what's going on?
I'm Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Italian singing sensation.
Come stai?
How are you?
He's just relaxed.
No, I've never been here. In fact, I just and that's there. Excuse me.
I'm just doing shots for the
Really?
film.
I never saw this. How many seats?
If you look at that picture on the right that's hanging up, it shows you how it was before Tom built the wall.
This is unbelievable.
While Mike gives a basic tour to the theater, the wise guys are finally joined with our guests, the Jersey Paranormal Investigators crew, as he prepares them before the walkthrough.
Tom, who's owned the theater for 40 years, has built this, what we call an apron, right, on both sides. There used to be, up until a couple years ago, this is called a reverse theater because it's built on a hill. That, as you came in, when the audience comes in, they come in climbing up the hill, and they're actually facing the audience. Most theaters, whether it's a movie theater or a performing arts theater, usually enter from the back. So right now, this is the only reverse theater in the whole country.
Oh, wow.
But when it was originally a vaudeville theater, of course, these two aprons were not here, and the seats went all the way up, pretty much up to the stage there. And also, it went way back. We were just in the lounge. The back wall to the lounge was the back of, what we would now call an orchestra section.
Oh, this could be nice.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Pretty Woman. Fit like what, 6? You saw Pretty Woman?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Tom! All right. I think we can get to the apartment.
Are we calling somebody? Oh.
Tom, if we went up the inside staircase, the apartment's still open, right?
Yeah, the apartment is open.
All right.
So just walk up.
All right, guys.
The lights are on, Mike.
Okay.
Hey Tom, when they first built this, how much was it to have this space?
How much what?
To have this space, this platform?
The apartment, all these seats, they're not brand new, but they're different than the seats downstairs.
Just the comfort.
These are the ones from some business company.
And the horns
Okay. So the apartment.
Basically, just keeps going.
Wait a minute, Mike. Hey Mike,
Mike.
What?
come here a minute. Let them walk to the top. I think there's something interesting about it. No, I'm serious. Let them go to the top.
All right, I don't care.
Yeah, I would go over to the top.
Well, we'll definitely spend time up top. We're definitely gonna come up here.
Yeah, there's this.
As the walkthrough continued with the side and rear of the balconies, our guide, Mike the Magician, had mentioned the old apartment in the upstairs rear of the theater, where the projectionist used to live with his family a long time ago. This apartment was recently renovated and turned into an art gallery, but the presence and energy this place had was more than exciting for all of us to take in.
This was where the projectionist lived. But Tom has turned it into an art gallery. So we came in from the inside of the building, but there's another way from on the outside of the building.
Okay.
There's a metal staircase that goes up to the here. I haven't been here in a while. Closet.
Oh,
kitchen.
something like spider webbies, but there was that. Yeah, I just had a did you feel that? Yeah, head thing. Yeah. Actually, thought you went there. Why the mood? Probably from the vibrations of this wall. Prosecco, my favorite. Yeah. This is so nice. You just don't expect this.
There's the bathroom.
Did you hear that? No.
heard something.
I heard like a drip.
I heard like a late shuffle. Ooh.
I thought I heard a drip.
A drip like water?
Yeah, like you drip.
Yeah,
Loud,
right?
loud.
Because if I felt that, step, take another step. You just feel the pressure, just go like down here. Yeah, you know I don't feel anything, so.
Not over here though. Not as much.
So sometimes Tom will have something going on downstairs in the theater and something else going on up here, usually an art exhibit, which is what you're looking at on the walls now. But this at one time was an apartment. Yeah, you don't expect it to be up here. Isn't
Only
it
3
cool?
days here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to choose where to start. This is one of those places where we have to sit and watch.
Yeah. We could do a sleepover in here.
Now, what would be interesting if we walked in and activated on its own?
That would be really
Well, I bet
Where are you
you.
feeling it?
Yeah, I was watching someone walking up there when we were on the stage actually, so.
Hanging
Validation.
out. I wouldn't be surprised if they're hanging in here and they were curious who's out there and actually walk back
Well,
around.
as we were even just walking in, I saw a couple like, who are they? Can they talk to us? Oh, they're talking to themselves.
That's why I said you gotta walk in, because I felt something to not immediate, but.
Yeah, no, trust that. That's what we do with, we just get a feeling and we run with it and see what we can get. We set out the equipment and, you know, try to get some validation with our equipment too.
As we finish the walkthrough, we head down the outdoor steel stairs that lead into a room in the rear of the theater that is just below the apartment, so the Jersey paranormal investigators can prepare to begin the investigation.
9:15. So basically what we normally do is try and find somewhere just to kind of lay down low for an area and see what happens. We've got various pieces of equipment here. You have, we call him Investigator Boo.
Oh, I was wondering who that.
So it's called a trigger prop dog. He has a plane of an electromagnetic field around him. So basically, if anything were to try and touch it, I'll demonstrate. It breaks the plane. They'll have music and lights and stuff that go off. He wants to stop talking, yeah. There he goes. The whole idea was, you know, something like this is back in his, whether it be historic times, whether it be 1700s, 1800s, you know, early 1900s, they didn't have all these electronic gadgets, so spirits sometimes don't know how to manipulate them, but they knew what dogs were. So especially if you're trying to deal with a child spirit, a lot of times, you know, try and encourage them to pet the dog and try and get the sensors and stuff to go off. We got a couple things that make noise and light
We
up.
got the universals, 2 of them, one over on the projector.
Yeah,
right?
there's what we call universal trigger props. Basically, there's one in the chair over there, and there's one on the projector. That if something were to you try and sit on the chair or touch the projector, it would go off and make an alarm noise.
What was that noise in the?
She just got like close, very close to it. And she
That triggered it?
Yeah, broke the flame.
Projector?
Yeah.
So paranormal investigating is much like a police stakeout. Sometimes you sit for hours on end. And nothing happens. Now that should not have.
That should not have happened.
Really? She was away.
No, she's too far away from it. That shouldn't have happened.
That's what I was thinking before. I heard it. She was.
So something must have gotten very close to the projector or touched the projector to make that go off like that.
Oh, so that's set up by the projector?
Yeah.
judge to protect her again?
So for those watching at home,
Right.
Nikki is saying she sees a man walking in and out. Nikki's the director of our group, and she's also a psychic medium. So she gets, obviously has the ability to communicate. She sees things, whether they be full people, shadows, dogs. Yeah.
What did we hear before when you asked the question? I heard something come out. What was that?
Oh, that's the obelisk. I have an obelisk.
I heard somebody like say something, right? Is
Yeah.
that?
The Ovilus is like the ghost hunting version of the speak and spell from like the 80s.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it uses, it's supposed to be able to manipulate like sound waves and be able to turn it into like a phonetical sound. There's different
Right, that
modes.
sound like that. What you just said?
It's like
the
that.
word was tight.
Okay.
So
Before that was 0.
Okay.
what did you just touch?
I just moved.
Oh, the dome.
The dome, this is the vortex dome, and this has a static field around it. So if something creates a static charge.
Try rubbing your sleeves together and see if you can
Yeah, I
sound
don't
it.
know if it's going to tonight.
No.
I can get a couple pieces.
Get the phone.
And what would happen? Does it sort of light up?
So it lights up. Yeah, I'm gonna try to show you what the foam piece is.
Anita, what's the Ovilus saying over there?
Metal.
Metal?
Why are we using green lights? I'm just wondering. Is it a certain? Does it have to be green or?
They don't have to be green. So white light, when you're sitting in the dark, is much harsher for your night vision. We normally use red lights because your red lights are your eyes adjust better to red lights. But since we don't, oh, there you go, demonstration. Do it again. Do it again. Ooh, pretty lights.
So if you see that, then.
So that's by heat that's generated?
It's
Static.
static.
It's
It's
static.
just two pieces of
Static.
foam and rub them together.
Okay.
So normally we use red lights because a lot of times if you're filming, you can film with infrared lights in the dark. For instance, you didn't have a red light, so Nikki suggested using the green
Yeah, I
light.
was just wondering. I just
Yeah.
wondered.
That's a reset.
It-
So-
Oh,
It helps. It
okay,
helps.
it just lit.
yeah, it just resets.
It helps with your night vision. It helps with dark. Green lights tend to be also tactical lights in tactical situations. So it's not, like I said, it's just not as harsh as opposed to just a bright white light
Okay.
when you're in the darkness. So as I was saying before, Nikki's walking around. Nikki's the director of our group. She's a psychic medium. She's been doing this for like 20 years.
Wow.
She's, was doing it before she knew she was a psychic medium and kind of developed her skills, started developing her skills and abilities, doing this. And is now, done mediumship gatherings, has done stuff internationally, all that kind of fun stuff. She actually was on Weird US and
Yeah.
Ghost Hunters.
Oh really? Wow.
Not Ghost Hunters. Weird US and
Not Ghost Detectives, Ghost Detectives.
I keep going really. Sorry. I'm coming over this way.
Well,
That was me.
You got to get closer.
Yeah. No, because there's this guy who's saying his name is Bill, and he keeps just kind of moseying in and out of here.
Oh, you actually, when you did that walk before, you felt something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
over.
we didn't do the
I
walk.
was upstairs and something in the room. Actually, when we were in the theater, the upper tier that we were talking about.
Felt something?
No, I
Are you
sensed
feeling
like
something, Anita?
They
No,
were
I'm just
there.
asking.
She's asking EVPs of this.
Okay.
But you said you keep seeing someone named Bill?
Yeah.
Mike Healy. Do you know anybody, Bill, something
No.
to be related to here?
I wonder if Tom would know.
It could have been maybe.
Could be from any time.
It could. Yeah, it could be any.
Yeah, it could have been an actor, it could have been, yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Is there a bill here?
And they actually respond?
Sometimes we do get responses.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because I know you're asking.
Yeah,
You
sometimes
get
you'll get audible responses. I mean,
Unbelievable performer, and he said when
He
he
doesn't
would
really
start
like have a heart
drinking,
attack or something.
he would.
you what?
Oh yeah.
It would
What?
be-
I'm
when
sorry,
he
what'd you
he
say?
passed away.
This
but-
man, he just touched me on the arm, but he had a heart attack. That's how he died.
Oh, you were.
Big deal. Like,
You had a heart attack?
yeah,
When?
multiple. Multiple.
What does that mean when you say multiple?
No, I just think it's funny. She said, excuse me, not funny, but
No.
she said
See that?
heart attack and it came up multiple. So I'm thinking maybe he had multiple heart
Oh
attacks.
wow. Okay.
Maybe it was a response.
Wait,
Is it still there?
yeah, I see it.
Well, that performer he was talking to me about, it was
Did you catch
it was
his name?
sad. He said that he was walking home. He lost his license,
That's me.
and so he was walking home, and they found him froze to death in the park.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Oh.
Now that when he told me that,
When you leave?
when he told me that was interesting because here was somebody who was connected to this theater. He loved playing, and Tom says that there's nobody. There was like unbelievable talent. Nobody can play like him. They would admit there's nobody that played him in the space that I can't play like. What is the name? That would be freaky if he said Bill. I'm gonna go ask
The
him.
barrage.
I'm gonna go ask him. Because I don't know what some
No,
reason
or let Bill Rachi.
Bill Rachi, his brother. Wow. Oh, Miguel. You all right?
Mike, 1 foot in front of the other.
I think Mike had 2 drinks. So you have to actually set these things up per room as you go along. Everything you're setting up, right?
Yeah.
Lose focus once in a while. Are you in focus?
Yeah.
You see me, Freddie?
A little blurry then.
That's all right.
I gotta get more focus.
I was blurry before when that thing was going off, and then when I moved, it finally got back to normal.
Let's stay on the floor.
So the organist, Ralph, well, let me tell you something. Mama was talking
Stand on the floor. Is that
Show-
something else?
Demonstrate how the dog works.
Yeah, what is that?
Spirits
I'm
here.
gonna tell you
Same
something.
thing?
That's it.
That's a
Like
dome.
the one thing that's over there.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Miguel, somebody
go.
tripped you on the way out.
No,
Do you have any pet dog?
I couldn't see the stuff.
No, I'm only kidding, Mike.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
You for some reason getting a lot of feelings, Mike. What's the matter?
You're not chill.
You feeling everything?
No, I'm telling you.
You should go work for them.
bizarre.
I don't know,
It's
you're
bizarre.
feeling
His name Bill?
Ralph.
Oh.
The guy's name was Ralph. But Tom had come up. I've never seen this. Tom was coming up with his phone with the light. You would think that it would be just, a beam of light. It was a round circle. It was like a perfect circle. He was coming up, and I thought
Like
it
a
was,
halo.
yeah. Like a large halo. Your light. If you turn your light on, and he's coming up, and it was like a perfect round.
Tú estás viendo droga.
Huh? No. Listen, I'm just telling you. What
I
I'm
know, I don't only
experiencing.
kidding. I'm only kidding.
Maybe it's
No,
maybe-
that's good. No, I'm saying you're sensing
No,
something.
I'm saying I never saw that, and you have your light on your phone.
Right,
it's
right,
Like it's like
right.
it was like a perfectly round.
So,
circle.
are you a skeptic or a believer?
I'm a skeptic.
You're
I'm
skeptic?
more of a skeptic, but I do believe that things happen. I mean, it's not like I don't believe that certain
No.
things happen.
Well, Biagio,
Yeah,
let me ask
'cause
you
I'm
this.
a magician.
You know that there's a spirit world.
No, that's why I say when I mean a skeptic.
I'm
some
not saying
people when
I
they
saw a
say certain
spirit.
things, but I know there's stuff in the world we can't explain.
I didn't say
We know
I
there's
saw a
stuff that
spirit.
happens.
I saw something that I never saw before.
Yeah.
I witnessed when you walk in. When you walk in.
Sam's
the
phone,
street-
I've
that's
seen
why.
things happen that you say it's unnatural. So something's going on, right?
Okay, so this is obvious. This is round, and you put it on the ceiling. It's round, but not this.
Yeah, it's weird. Huh?
Nick, what are you sitting back there for?
So you said you're a skeptic because you're a magician. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
Keep filming.
I ate them. They're sorry.
Did you bring these or was
I'm gonna
that?
stop. I
they're
gotta
mine.
change them.
well, let me ask you.
You go
The
keep going.
room temperature in here. I don't know if he's running the heater or anything. Did that have anything? No. Did that have anything to do with what
No,
you said?
there's
It was
no
64
heat in here.
degrees?
That's what's bizarre.
No.
If it should go up there, like to 70 really quick,
Right.
or go down.
That's what I'm saying. There's something. That's why you should check the temperature,
This
right?
place, what
Yeah.
blows my
Right,
mind is
energy.
this place is not heated and it's warm.
Well, you feel warm. I actually feel cold.
Yeah, I thought.
You feel cold?
I feel hot, but I feel like
weird.
cool skin.
That's exactly how I feel.
What'd you say?
What you just said.
Hot, but my skin is cold.
Yeah, me too.
My
That's
skin is
exact-
cold. That'll tell you. Yeah, that's why I think I'm cold.
No, but I
Is this the power of suggestion?
no, I mean it's weird. You feel like I want to wear my sweater. No. Well, let me tell you something. So far in here, I haven't
Well,
found
I-
anything significant.
but-
but when I'm going to tell you,
When I came into the room, I actually.
who's the one who senses the most in here? Out of
Nikki.
you three?
Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Just even if we don't all leave, I just want you to I was calling for Tom, and I went over there, and let me tell you something. I was like, maybe I was bugging myself out, but there was a lot of stuff going on over there.
Out front in the.
No, as soon as I when I went
in
down
the
the steps,
opening?
I didn't go down the theater. I called for Tom because I wanted to know whose name, Bill. If it was Bill, it's not. It was Ralph. But as he was coming up, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I'm sure you're gonna sense a lot of stuff going on over there. Is it because we're all in the room here that they would move out of the room?
No, I mean, yeah, it's a
Like we're overwhelming the
possibility.
space?
What's that?
Could be. They're very curious as to what we're doing.
So you feel some presence here.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't see the guy anymore coming in and out, but somebody keeps around.
You
like,
feel
Anita,
something.
Yeah. Anita had felt something back here too earlier.
Back by you? Or here?
I, out of my peripheral, thought I saw something crouching behind the couch, and I just and then all of a sudden I caught it again, and then this came up with observe. So I felt like something was crouching behind the couch, observing.
A spirit box.
Apple.
What's that?
So-
I know I'm asking too many questions.
Not at all, not at all.
Because I don't
Not
know
at
what that
all.
means.
So what a spirit box
It's very
is,
noisy,
it's
but-
basically a radio that's been hacked to scan AM and FM frequencies at a very high rate of speed.
It's like white noise.
Like white,
Okay.
almost like white noise, but it'll stop, and you'll be able to get words.
And if
that
you
come
listen,
out.
you could, you
And
will.
if you
could
you
possibly
listen, you
hear
could possibly
words.
hear voices and words.
We've had conversations.
Wow.
So we used it.
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
We investigated another theater 2 years ago, and we used this, and we had a lot of.
We almost found out a whole story here.
So, if you do get something, if you do get something, when you're saying there's spirits, that's what you're saying, right? Or is it actually spirits? Who's actually?
Well, that's the thing is, if it's scanning, what is stopping it from scanning, and you're just getting a string of either a word or a string of words put together.
But when you're saying spirits, I'm trying to figure this out. These are people that passed,
Yes,
and their spirits are still here.
they could be just people.
I'm just wondering. Is that,
That
what?
wasn't. That was the trigger prop over there. You sure?
No, I heard a beep here.
I heard it beep. It wasn't boo.
No, it wasn't his door.
I mean, imagine how spirits could all be talking
over
right now.
there.
They could all be having
So what I'm saying is
conversations.
these are
and we
spirits
can't
that
hear
have,
it.
have passed. People that have passed.
And they have a radio station.
No. Yeah. No, but people have passed
People who have passed.
that have not gone anywhere, and they
Decided
stay,
to
the spirits,
stay here.
This.
and they stayed here.
Not
Wow.
necessarily.
Sometimes,
Not
sometimes you're
necessarily.
attached
Sometimes
to something.
It could be people who are passing through. It could be people who have an attachment to the building. It could be just residual energy.
Wow.
It was a good time in her life.
Okay, and,
people-
and so that's what you that's where you pick up if we
Spirits-
pick anything
Yeah,
up.
we'll go with that.
When
yes.
when people pass over, our experience is that people tend to keep the same personality they had in life and death.
Okay.
If you were an asshole in life, you're gonna be an
Yes.
asshole in death.
Okay. That makes sense.
So if you're somebody who likes to play practical jokes, you're gonna try. They'll still try and
those a lot.
they'll still try and screw with you, when you're doing this. So if this is something like if you had somebody here who, like say like the projectionist or something, or a former owner who this place was their life, there's a possibility that we might have communication with them tonight because this was such a big part of who they are.
We're gonna try to do some.
Go.
We're gonna do what we call a spirit box session.
I just want you to know that it came up with Veronica.
Oh, wait a
So that may
minute.
have
That
been
was
an
just
actress
that was
here
from me?
or
Yeah.
a singer. Or,
Did you do this?
No,
You didn't.
I just went over like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's you.
broke the static plate.
What's that?
You broke the static plate when you're cooking it around.
You believe in this?
But
Oh, you don't?
Listen, this is what I'm saying. Not that I believe, I don't believe. You're in the space. There's no question. There's no question that there's a spirit world. No question about it. There's no denial about that.
do you want to ask?
The question is there activity in here? So what I'm doing is really trying to tune into
there a
the space.
Veronica?
I got it.
I believe in energy. I'm an energy.
No, you're right.
When you hear some, don't tell me when you walk into space.
Mike,
You
you
see
see
nothing.
in the spirit box, though.
Yeah.
Hold
When
on.
I walked in, I felt
So could you go through the spirit box and leave a message for us?
Tu sei l'energia delle persone, le donne. Quando walk in the space and you meet somebody.
Somebody here with us? Okay, yeah, turn the reverb down.
Calm down.
Compound.
What?
Compound.
Did you hear that?
No, did you hear that?
Is it Veronica?
Yeah, I had asked if there was a Veronica, maybe she was a singer or a dancer. Did she work here? Or Bill here?
Is there anybody who'd like to say something? Larry? Okay, we're gonna turn the box off. If there's something you'd like to say, please do it.
Did you hear?
What were you looking for?
You're gonna hear voices. They were asking.
Sometimes you'll hear voices other than what you're catching on the
What were we catching all those other? What was all that frequency?
So
on that-
basically, it's scanning radio stations.
Oh, that's
You
what
know
I
how,
was
like, the
doing.
same button on your radio?
Yeah, the
Right.
signal on your radio. It's
Got it.
So what it's supposed to do is, as
Oh, it's constantly changing to different stations.
what it's supposed to do is a frequency manipulation that you're able to hear a voice, and there's like a pause in the manipulation
between.
long enough for you to catch.
Right, to catch in between.
Not the radio voice, but a different voice over within there.
Okay.
They had
No.
a sentence.
Something just.
Yeah, it just went. I just saw it on
You
my
just
thing.
saw the flash of light just came through
Yes.
here.
You just saw something?
There's a
Jersey paranormal investigator Tony sees an orb light cross the wall. Watch as I enhance it.
It's what?
The energy is becoming very oppressive.
Because we're talking about.
I just heard something right outside.
I wouldn't doubt that around a theater like this of this age, that there wasn't. You think about it, over 100 years old, where the theater was a place where people would meet. They would
Oh,
see,
yeah.
and then they would, It was like crimes of passion all the time.
That's what I was thinking, you know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we're invading their private spot, you know?
Yeah, or they
Bill
wanted
and
something to do
Veronica.
with
I don't know what room was this though.
Was this a party room?
Yeah, what kind of room was this?
I didn't know I had a heart attack.
Right.
This was the back of the theater.
Yeah,
This was the back of the theater?
orchestra
The very,
section.
very
The
back.
seats
Yeah,
were
Jody,
nice.
all kidding aside,
Yeah, no,
this
no.
place has been known to have certain things.
I read about it.
And
I read about it.
And I didn't know, but Tom shared, I guess, with someone about something about the lock. Who knew about the lock?
He told me about it, but I don't
Really?
want to say it. Maybe they'll notice it later.
Okay.
I thought they'd be pissed off that Tom chopped up the theater. In other words,
Converted it, the original forms.
yeah, like he messed with it.
Getting Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Charlie?
The name Charlie reads on the ovulus. Nobody knew. But Charlie Darress, was the builder of the Darress Theater.
Honestly, that's like when we get a lot of our evidence is we'll be talking about something totally unrelated and we'll be listening back and hear something and be like, wait a minute. You play it back again and you're like, oh. And half the time it's, you know, we're talking about something that's not suitable,
Right.
not suitable for the public to listen to, so.
So
Charlie, did you perform here?
What's the Dutch name?
What did they say?
Stagehand.
Stagehand. So somebody who worked there. Right?
Well, usually somebody spends a many years.
Stagehand is somebody that works.
Many years in the theater, that it's very sentimental. to
Charlie
them.
was a stagehand.
And they don't want to.
Charlie, did you work the pulleys and the curtains?
Well, remember the projector went off a couple times, so he may have been a projector person too.
That's true.
Did you work the projector, Charlie? What's it?
Teacher,
Were you an acting teacher?
like if there was a hallway.
It just
thing,
feels like
I'd
it
be
got
up there.
colder in here.
Could they give like a sign?
It is
that?
colder.
Could they give us a sign
It is very cold back
that they're here?
Look, we ask them for very specific things, like, if there's somebody here, can you pet the dog?
You guys, hold on, did you just hear that?
Oh.
What?
I heard like a.
No. But I felt a whoosh of air.
Try
going
again.
past
Either
my
an
head.
acting teacher or a music teacher.
It just got colder back then.
Mhm.
Very cold, very, very cold.
What's the temperature now?
That's what I was screaming.
Because it feels like it's really cold over here now.
It's starting to
It
get
is
cold.
getting colder. I feel that. It was
Same.
63.
On
So
that
we
wall
call that
too?
a psychic wall.
I feel.
On that wall?
I feel a little cold there.
60
Back
My
degrees.
hands
here.
got like, yeah, really
Back
cold.
here.
Yeah.
Got like a little,
64.
like felt the chill.
Like right here, it just feels like there's
Like right on
cold
my
air and
back.
it's just like
I
settled.
know, I
feel
thought
it.
it
I
too.
feel it.
Charlie.
Colder.
After capturing a few bits of evidence, the Jersey Paranormal investigators decide to wrap it up and head to the theater. Before they do so, they do a walkthrough of the projector room and see if Nikki, the psychic, can feel any activity going on.
Wow.
Picture of me in a show here. It's funny. Yeah,
Back in the day.
that's me.
How many years you been coming here?
Practice room now?
22.
I don't think we're gonna stay here long. I just stuck my head back here.
Staff only.
The psychic Nikki feels no response, no activity, so we decide to move in to the theater through another doorway of many doorways that lead into the theater itself.
No, bro. Tu spirit now?
There's someone on the stage.
break some bones. Paul. Is there a Paul here?
That's us walking by.
You don't know? Just called you a worm, I
You called me a worm? I'm a worm.
think. The word too.
It's on the stage.
We immediately pick up a little activity from one of the motion detectors, literally on the stage.
Over and over again.
Give it that's. It's up on the stage. See it? Somebody's walking to that side of it, within that proximity of it.
Right in the middle,
Yep.
that's why I see the red light blinking?
Yep. Towards, and it's to that. If you're looking at it, it's to the right. You have to be within about 3 feet of that thing for it to go off. Was that downstairs? Sound like something crash?
That again?
Can you tell us your name? No, the dots are supposed to be on each side.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying, it's out on the right side.
Who's got the light on the stage?
That's Freddie's light, huh?
Were you a singer, dancer, actor? It's still going on that side.
Oh, you see something going on?
The light,
See somebody up there.
the light, it's not that the sound wasn't going, but the light just blinked.
Only going your way.
Shooting star.
Mommy. Just said hug, mommy,
Hug mommy?
hug, mommy.
We are all curious. We're not here to harm anyone or anything. We're just curious. We come in peace. If you want to share something with us, we will listen respectfully. What are you looking for?
So with this, the laser grid that's set up in the background, if something was to pass through the beam, it wouldn't just, totally block out the laser because it's not a solid object. So when spirit energy passes through a laser grid, the lights kind of do like a waffle wave, like they kind of just shake a little bit, which is what we were seeing in the background.
Like a movement?
Yeah, it just kind of almost does like the lights just almost kind of do like a little like shimmer, like a shimmy.
Would there have been like more horror type productions here?
Horror? I don't know. Is that what the sense you're getting? Like,
There was,
Like seeing a woman with her first.
yeah, well, there was a Jack the Ripper. There was a woman who actually died about 3 years ago, 2.5
2.5 years ago. She was a local playwright, and she would produce a lot of her plays here. And one of them was, believe it or not, a musical of Jack the Ripper.
How did she die?
I don't remember exactly, but she was sick in the hospital for about 2 weeks before she died.
Anyone here? Give me a sign.
Okay, so let's be more specific.
Oh,
If there's somebody here,
What do you want them to do?
touch the dog, because, yeah, they could like throw something big at you and then hurt you.
really?
Believe it or not. So we try to be very specific.
Okay. Anyone here pet the dog?
There you go.
While you're waiting for Mom to perform, you can play with Boo. And you can pet Boo. Boo doesn't bite. Boo is a cute dog. You can pet.
Pet the dog on the stage.
You can play with Boo on the
You
stage.
can hug the dog if you can't hug your mommy.
Anyone on the stage, pet the dog, so we know you're here.
Can you adjust it so they're a little closer together?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Those things can get real tight.
What I'm, oh yeah.
The spirits are moving along.
That's fine, that's it.
No, I think they're doing that, right? Yeah, no, they're putting those things there.
I think if you go the other, keep going, it gets really tight. It says hi.
Did the roof cave in?
Someone just said hi?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
who is this?
Can you give us a sign?
Let's be more specific.
Pet the dog.
The dog's on stage.
Africa?
Toto?
There you go.
Should we all start singing down in Africa?
You keep going, right?
We have some pizza. Are you hungry? Would you like a slice of pizza?
I just heard no.
I swear I've heard something too.
So we want to make friends with you. We just want to, we're very curious about you as you're curious about us. And we don't know if you like a whistle or not, but I'd like to whistle for you. Why are you laughing? This is not a comedy. I'm trying to connect with them.
Yeah. He can whistle.
Hold on.
He's good at whistling. Yeah.
The word came up enough.
Like the orb went
Huh?
back. The orb went.
Spook on the wall. On
The orb went back in your ass.
It said night.
Night.
Say good night.
Night.
That was the good night.
What is
You got really blurry though just now.
What did he say?
Night.
Night.
Would they actually whistle back? Did they whistle
Maybe
back?
because they can't speak Italian. Maybe he was trying to say buonanotte. Buonanotte.
Oh, maybe can they whistle back?
or nice?
Night.
Maybe whistle back.
Oh.
Like N-I-G-H-T.
More or less say good night, get out.
Can
Yeah.
It was
someone
like, night.
They wanted you to stop.
whistle back?
I was good, actually.
Whistle back.
Biagio, you're gonna sing now?
That's next.
Yeah.
They're
That's coming.
really gonna say
Now
goodnight.
Now I'm gonna get really daring.
You're gonna
I'm gonna
chase
come
the
up
ball
on the
out of the
stage.
building.
All right, because I've been inspired all night to do this.
Go, go.
All right,
Go
let me
sing.
try.
Just be
Now,
careful.
I'm just gonna hit a couple notes of
I
what's
saw.
on the video. All right, hold on.
That was. It was weird because
So the story is that this actually was written about an old elderly man in the village in Italy. He sees the beautiful, talking about a child now. He's crying. The beautiful innocence of a child. And so he's an elderly man. He's lived his life and he sees the beauty and innocence of the child.
Sounds like a story about a pedophile.
And so the sun is actually shining on the child's face. So even though you interpret it, it can be interpreted many ways. O sole mio sta brillante, which is my sun, my energy, my love is upon your face. So that's the true meaning of O sole mio. Most people don't know that.
is that what you're gonna say, Mike?
So I'm gonna just hit a couple notes in the theater.
To drive the spirits away.
Na giornata sole, l'aria serena, dopo una tempesta, per l'aria fresca, pare già una festa, e che bella cosa, una giornata sole, mamma tu sei, più bella.
Now you scared the spirits away.
That was very good, Mike. That was good. Wait, there's another verse.
Ma pari quasi una malinconia sotto finestra pare già una festa che bella cosa una giornata sole no
Very good, Mike.
Okay, now, hey, little Jimmy, in another 120 years, there's gonna be paranormal investigators.
I know,
And they're gonna hear, did you just hear on something?
Listen, Jimmy, we're with you.
This thing keeps speaking.
Right here.
This thing is, yeah, right here, it's flicking a lot.
Oh, it's a cell meter.
You got
Cell
it?
sensor.
What is that?
Coincidence or no coincidence? After Mike sings O Solo Mio, we start getting motion detector right in front of us going off.
Somebody walked by or
It's an
something?
electromagnetic field detector.
No, but I mean, somebody walked by or is it something else?
No, it's something else. Batteries dying. I just changed the battery. We just changed batteries.
Wait a minute. Could it be that while it was singing that somebody sat in the audience?
That keeps
Wait a
beeping.
minute, hold on.
No, it's
Slow
slower.
it down.
Now.
Don't do anything.
Said loud.
It said,
Now it
Oh,
stopped.
now it's not.
what? So what was that?
Wait, do it again.
And a story.
Can someone pet the dog?
Story.
Did you enjoy the story?
He said you're loud.
It stopped.
He did sing loud.
When you said, did you like the story, it stopped.
Yeah, it's off completely. Now it's on again.
You like the story?
Did you touch it again if you did? I like the story.
Video. We are making a video.
I'm making a video.
That's weird that this thing went off.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear Mike sing again? Beep, 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 beep.
Mike's next act is he's gonna tap dance.
If you want him to sing.
You know what, but it's not a bad idea. Maybe I should play some music.
Do you want us to leave?
Play some old music.
So 20s.
Yeah, that's
If you want us to leave, pet the dog.
To be able to do that in this space, because the last thing I was
All right, here it goes again.
is what it,
But I don't understand what that's doing. I'm trying to figure out, what is that? Does that mean somebody's walking by? or-
What is?
it is,
How does that react?
detector.
energy.
It's an electromagnetic field detector.
Which
So,
means?
when there's a change in electromagnetic field, that's when that goes off.
And it's nice and cold. over
And
there.
what does that mean? I know what you're saying, but what is it?
Let me tell you something.
In,
My
in,
hand.
in layman's terms, what does it mean?
Something is breaking the electromagnetic field around your property.
Do you want to hear Mike sing again?
Oh, I thought that was the box.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Come and dance.
Dance on the stage.
You gotta jive.
Not you, Mike.
Listen. Try not to talk, just listen to it.
Oh, it's blinking.
You can dance around the door. I'm gonna push Mike off the stage. You don't wanna dance, come on.
Went off again. What?
Got one. Another one, two, three.
Follow me over here. Get on the stage. Come on. Follow me up on the stage. Go by Boo Boo. Go dance with Boo Boo. Come on. Here we go. You know Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to get a pound. Jump Johnny, then you where you got it. 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 There had to be at least one time in the theater that somebody was chanting the song on the floor.
With time flying by, we decide to end the investigation in the theater. And instead of doing the balconies, the Jersey Paranormal Investigators decide to go straight up to that apartment.
Wait, that's $350?
Yeah. There's price tags on it.
You mean there's price tags on every one of these things?
Well, no, this one, these little ones.
These are not for sale, these are.
Yeah, there's two strands.
What do they want for this?
How's your experience here? Look up at this.
Oh, right there. It was very, very entertaining and really. No, it was real. There's a lot of history in this building, so a lot of things felt very eerie. But I like, it's kind of crazy.
You know what? I started out by saying I'm a skeptic, but it was like a little spooky, especially with the gizmo with the words that pop up. And I don't know, two of the three women see people and hear people. So I don't know, a little spooky.
I learned in life that you have to give everything a chance. I totally believe that there's. Bravo, Michael. Well, I learned that Michael can sing too. I think we got him. We're in his comfort space, so he was more open to sing tonight. But I've always talked about, and I'm an energy person because I totally believe that there's a spirit world. There's definitely a spirit world, and there was no question that when we walked in different places inside this theater, that you sense temperature difference, energy difference, some type of presence. And at some point, when the lights are out, there's nobody in the room, I walked, by myself.
While interviewing Mike, we immediately receive activity.
And this went off.
And that went off too.
This never off, or was it the light?
No, that just went off. It lit up red.
I just saw that.
Can you make this go off again? This round thing on the floor? Can you make that light up for me again?
Can you do it again?
Did you touch that?
I did not. I was over here.
I touched it 5 minutes ago and they're still moving.
This went off, then that went off.
Well, I was saying that there's no question that there's an energy in this place.
Can you make this?
There's a history, and there's people that have poured their soul, out into the space, and so there is absolutely a life that existed and continues to exist here.
That was a dome.
And all I keep saying is how terrible it would be
Let it reset.
if this was all gone one day.
Who's here with us? I can't hear it on here when we're talking. That's his. Wait, everybody be quiet. You don't hear that.
That's what.
There's banging. That I hear. Now that's a different one than the one we had on the stage. I switched them.
There is no doubt that everyone feels that there's a presence somewhere going on in this apartment. What it is, we need to find out.
It's almost like he's trying to do Morse code, but I don't know Morse code.
Do you want to tell us something?
The numbers have something to do with it, right?
What's the numbers at?
Oh, they're going up.
Anita, is your phone on?
This is a,
What's
it was raising as I was looking at
You
it.
don't think it has anything to do with this art piece next to it?
no, but the art piece is now moving.
It's in the darker, the thicker space, but I can't really read the numbers.
I feel like a tapping, right?
The Jersey Paranormal Investigators and everyone in the room hears a boom, boom, boom sound, but nobody knows where it's coming from. It could be under the floor, it could be in the walls. So we investigate further to see what this actually is. Remember, nobody lives in the apartment.
Are you making this tapping noise out? Did you just hear that from over there? You were making this tapping noise go off? Can you do it for me like 1, 2, 3, like this? Did you hear it?
As the booming continued, we waited for Mike the Magician to explain to us what this could actually be. And he debunks this weird moment.
Okay, you're gonna laugh.
What?
Debunked.
Right under here is a ceiling fan
Oh.
that's wobbly
And that's making that noise.
and it keeps hitting the
Debunked.
ceiling.
All right. Well, at least we
We
figured that
like
out.
debunking things.
Well, that's debunked.
Makes me feel better.
We still have the interaction on the ghost meter.
Yeah, we did get that. It hasn't gone off since we moved it.
But now, okay, so debunked, but why was it changing rhythm then, if nobody was changing the speed of the ceiling fan?
And why was it getting louder?
It just said boo.
Yeah, I saw that. These are all keywords that get us out of here.
Let's go in that back room.
As we near the end of the investigation of the Darress Theater, the Jersey Paranormal Investigators go to the back room of the apartment and see if they could capture anything else to complete this amazing investigation.
That's the
kitchen after this.
My foot's tingling.
Your foot's tingling?
Mm-hmm. My right foot. Not cold, just tingling.
Is there anybody here who would like to talk to us tonight? We have a bunch of equipment here. You can try and pet the dog. He'll make some noise. Anyway, we know you're here. You can make the lights just go off on one of these devices we have on the floor.
Is he on?
He's on.
Not long after entering the room, we receive immediate action.
There you go. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, they both did.
Can you, they both that one up there?
Yes. The phone just went off.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you very much. If you keep going around, it'll change colors. You can light it up yellow and blue and red and green. Can you try it again for me, please?
Thank you for doing that.
We can ask you questions if you can light it up for us. You can light it up maybe red for no and blue for yes. Did you work here at the theater?
Did you live here?
That whistling was.
Hmm?
I was just tagging the whistling.
That was me kicking.
But the fact, I mean, it is a comfortable room, but I like looking out the window and.
Are there books up there, perhaps? I don't know
They
how.
probably came in this room because we were all in the other room and they came in this room. Now we're all in here.
There's so much despair in this room.
It's so weird because my hair is standing now. I feel like real ice cold right here as I move over here.
Even Annette, the talent coordinator for the Wise Guys, feels a pull on her hand,
Just right here.
and the hairs on her arm rise.
Well, let me get away from the doorway. You too, Freddie. Come back here.
A lot of humus.
I don't know.
Because
my
mine is
hand is like hurting
downstairs.
and performing.
Your hand is what?
Like hurting.
Can you please back away from Annette?
Yeah, don't leave her hand alone, okay? You can talk to us and tell us things, but just leave her hand alone, please.
Like it felt like my pinky was like getting squeezed.
Well, it might have been
He's like a petulant child. That's why he keeps trying to knock food.
Tom.
Tom.
Tom or Tommy.
Tom's downstairs. Isn't that?
Is he trying to call Tom?
Do you want us to call Tom? Or is your name Tom?
Would you like to be called Tom or Tommy?
I don't know.
Okay.
So why are you being aggressive?
Why are you being aggressive with the ladies? Is that what your personality was? You used to hit women?
And I just got a blur, like real quick blur, and then went back to focus. I shouldn't have a blur with this kind of light.
Like,
Why?
I think if you're in the doorway, you can prevent them to go out and anyone coming in.
Do you think it was somebody that was in here?
Somebody was being upset.
Really? Did someone die in this room?
As the investigation ended, we all go downstairs to Control Center and discuss with the Jersey Paranormal Investigations their experience of this haunted and mysterious theater. All right, Jersey Paranormal Investigators, overall of the Darress Theater, how was your experience?
Well, I would say it's probably one of the most active places I've been to in quite a while. between interactive spirits and some residual energy and spirits. We definitely had some great experiences between psychic impressions, people feeling things being touched and cold and seeing people. We've had a lot of equipment interaction. So in my estimation, I've been doing this close to 20 years. That's a good night.
Yeah, I think just even members of your team that were, like Annette felt like someone was pulling on her arm, her hair on her arm stood up. Mike, when we first got here was like drawn up to the balcony area, and he said she felt like there was definitely, a presence up there. So I think when you get people who don't have the experience, that are having feelings and experiences as well, it's definite validation that has to be taken into consideration.
I agree. This it was exciting. We had a lot of activity. It was we all could see it together, so it wasn't just us seeing it.
Yeah, it was
everybody
a lot of
here.
group validation for
We have
sure.
complete validation, and it's a beautiful theater, and totally enjoyed investigating.
Nikki, you as a psychic, did you what were a lot of the things that you were seeing, or was there anything specific that you want to recall?
I found it interesting. I've investigated theaters before, but I felt in the past I've picked up a lot more on what happened on stage, and here I felt like I was picking up a lot more on possibly the people who either worked here or who spent a lot of time here, ranged the gamuts, but there was a lot of despair, and so I'm wondering if that was from more the 1920s, 30s time period, Great Depression, when people, didn't have a lot. So I did feel a lot of, I felt a lot of joy sitting in the chairs in the back. I just felt peaceful and calm, and then there was other times I felt agitated and like the spirit, was not too happy with us. A lot of sorrow, yeah.
Yeah, theaters tend to be very active because you have all the emotions of the actors. Actors by nature, performers by nature, tend to be very emotional people. So you tend to get a lot of that in a theater setting where you feel pain, joy, sorrow, despair, heartbreak. And that's it. And that's something that it could be that that's the role that they were portraying. Maybe it was their signature role. Maybe it was just if they were here during that time, the role they were in, or it could be things that were going on in their own lives. You mentioned you were having a lot of problem with your equipment, and you kept having your screens going out of focus. In theater settings, that's something I've also noticed. I've been to theaters where watching children's theater performances and having problems with the sound system, and then having to have somebody else just randomly who is recording it catch an EVP during the performance. So it's something that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for us to have equipment problems even just in our own investigations because of the volume of energy in locations.
Well, thank you so much, Jersey Paranormal. Hopefully, Jersey Paranormal investigators. Hopefully, we can find something else in the future to work on, another wherever it may be.
We'd love that.
And I want to thank you. Listen, check out the Jersey Paranormal Investigators on Facebook and
Instagram,
yeah, it's at Jersey Para on Instagram and Twitter. Jersey Paranormal Investigations on Facebook.
JerseyParanormal.com.
You want to give them an outro?
On the count of three, all together.
Uno,
due, tre, hazzo!
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Hope you had a great time. The Wise Guys Show will be resuming on November 6th with the Sopranos special, The Road to Sopranos Con. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Over the years, thousands and thousands of people have visited the Darress Theater in this small town of Boonton, New Jersey, where performances today continue every week and throughout the year. After the investigation concluded, we can all agree that the activity that exists inside seems harmless, yet who or what haunts this theater has made it very clear that its echoes are present throughout eternity inside this one-of-a-kind and incredible Darress Theater.
theater.
I was at a.
So wait, come back here. You need the theater. We're gonna spend.
And there's an organist comes in.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
But sometimes there's movies here, and there's an organist comes in.
I love it.
Now,
It shows us the temperature.
Is that? Can they give us a sign
It is very cold.
that they're here?
We ask them for very specific things, like if there's somebody here, can you pet the dog?
Hold on, did you hear
Oh.
that? What? I heard like a.
Is there a ball here?
We have some pizza. Are you hungry? Would you like a slice of pizza?
I just heard no.